Hello, my name is Karen Powell. I'm a Southern Comfort Personal Care Home located in Temple, Georgia. I've had the personal care home for 15 and a half years, and I just started a new adventure called Interpretation Art Gallery that I've been trying to get off the ground now for a year. Thanks to Ms. Portia, we finally got it off the ground this year.
Hi, I'm Geneva Powell. I am a mother of 4 beautiful children. I am the property manager at South of Maple Apartments. I've been there for a year, but I've actually been in housing for about 15 years.
Hi, my name is Shonda Daniel. I am a practice administrator at dental office. I've been in the field for about 9 years, and I also own Flawless Hair Extensions.
Hi, my name is Glendra Camble. I'm the owner and founder of GC Feather Wings and Things. I've been in the restaurant business over about 5 to 6 years. My goal is to shake wings and count money.
Yes, I am Portia Jackson, host of SistersMeeting, the owner of England Graphics. I'm a mother of 3. I'm a client support worker at Pathways, a woman of many hats. This is the question I want to know: why you decided to move up when you started to move up. What did you obtain in order to do so, and how did you implement your plan? Like, we want to know the details.
Oh, wow. You want to know what Let me see. When I graduated high school, my goal was to just go straight from high school to college. But then I was like, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work about a year, save up some money, then I'm going to go to college. But once I got a job, I didn't even think about college anymore. So I actually started off doing property management when I went through a temp agency and got sent over to Carrollton Place Apartments, which is student housing. And when I got there, I really enjoyed it, and I just took a real liking and wanted to know more on how to do leasing and renting, and I was enjoying walking and showing the properties, and ended up, the property manager at that time ended up buying my contract out with the temp agency. And so you have to pay, and so she paid for me. She wanted me to come on permanently.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that means more money for me, you know what I'm saying? Plus, in a job advancement. So when I just got in there, I just wanted to, you just have to be eager to learn and to just do stuff. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to go to school for business administration. So I registered at West Georgia Technical College. And so while working, I had 2 children at the time. I was going to school full time. And it was very stressful, but some kind of way I pulled it out, ended up graduating with my business administration degree, ended up leaving Carrollton Place and got promoted over to assistant manager at River Place Apartments. And so I was at River Place for 2 years and realized that, you know what, this is all fun and stuff. There was some things going on in the property. I was like, I want to try something different, but I still want to do in housing. Ended up sending my resume over to the Carrollton Housing Authority, and like not even 30 minutes later, I get a call wanting me to come in for an interview. I didn't even know they were hiring. I was just faxing my resume over to every apartment complex because I had experience in that, and I knew I could transition. It would just be a easy transition from one apartment complex to the next, you know. And called in for an interview, and the lady had already had somebody in mind. She was getting ready to hire them, getting ready to sign the paperwork. I came in for the interview. And the next morning they called me and was like, when can you start?
Oh, wow.
I was like,
That is good.
I would have been like tomorrow, but the professional thing to do was to give a 2-week notice. And so I said, well, I need to give a 2-week notice where I am. Once I give that 2-week notice, I'll be able to start, you know. And she was like, okay. She said that was one thing that she liked about me. She didn't want me to just leave one job and come over there. No, she was like, when I said I wanted to give that 2-week notice, that just assured her she got the job. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up actually paying me for an extra day that I didn't even work for a holiday, I think, because I was supposed to start September 1st. She ended up paying me for Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
And so I ended up working at the Housing Authority, just starting off in the front, doing the tenant selection. I was processing applications, answering the phones, just running the front. And after like 4 years, I got promoted to doing Section 8.
Okay.
So from there, I did Section 8, oh my God, for like 6 years.
Yeah. Cole Carrollton, know you.
I know, right?
I think I see your name.
Section 8 for like 6 years, and I just loved that. I just love my job. I love the people that I dealt with, and I always, like, even if I was having a bad day, you know what, I'm going to come in with a smile on my face. And sure enough, I come in with a smile. It's like somebody come in with a bad day, see a smile on my face, they were having a, you know, a better day. And so it just turned out to be good, and I love that job. And then so when I left, when I got Section 8, a position came open at the housing authorities for the accounts payable financial assistant position, and I had my administrative and business degree, and so they wanted me to apply for it because it was in-house. They wanted, so I interviewed for it, ended up getting promoted, ended up getting a substantial raise to do the financial assistant. I did that for 2 years, and I was like, you know, that job kind of came in my lap, and then this property manager job kind of fell in my lap. But I'm like, maybe I should send my resume in. You know, I like who I am, but I just let me send my resume in. And not long after that, I get an email from my boss now, John. He was like, can you come in for an interview? And I was like, yeah, I can come in for an interview. I get there, and he's not even there. I'm like, oh, he ain't even here. I'm not going to, you know, be able to interview. So we FaceTime. I guess that's like the new thing now. Because I'm used to it. I'm nervous because I think I'm having to sit across from somebody, you know, but he FaceTimed me. And we just got to talking. I told him about my experience in housing, and he was telling me about the property. It was under, you know, renovations. There was a lot going on. He had somebody that's a people person that was going to be able to handle, you know, all the aspects of what was going on. And he was like, well, I normally don't do this. He was like, but if you want the job, you got it. And I was like, what? Like, you know, like FaceTime. I'm like, and I was so excited. And he was like, yeah, it was just something about you. He was like, even though I'm not there with you personally, he was like, it's just something about you that I feel like you will be a good fit for this position. So then I was like, oh, I didn't think I was going to get it. You know, I've been at the house for like 12 years. Like, you know, it's a government job and da da da. And so I talked with my husband about it. I prayed about it. Something was just like, it fell in your lap. You got to give it the opportunity. You have to try to go out there and see if you can do it. And a year later, I'm still here, still hanging on in there. The owners love me. They're giving me bonuses left and right, and I can't deny it. Give it to me. I can't. You know, it just like having a really good personality or a really good attitude about stuff, and just kind of believing in yourself. Like, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can be your own worst critic. You can be your own worst, you know, like, oh, I know I can't do this. But yes, you can. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to be running 208 units on my own, but my staff is amazing, and my bosses and the owners are amazing, and I can't complain about anything.
And you have did a really good job there, too.
Thank you.
Because I know where it was before and where it is now, so.
We're working hard to get it up. Thank you. Thank you.
Why did I go after her?
I know, right?
Yes, please answer them. Okay. I done got like intrigued with her story.
You want to quit?
Why you decided to move up, you know, like what, you know, prompted you to want to move up? What did you obtain in order to do so, and how did you implement your plan?
Okay. So originally I started when I was 15 working at a restaurant, high-end restaurant in Carrollton, and basically I did whatever it was to become, you know, one of the best servers there. So a lot of the lawyers, doctors, things like that always came in to request me. And I basically became friends with a dentist that was in town, and she came one day. I was basically telling them, at the time I had 2 small kids, and I was telling them I'm just kind of, you know, getting burnt out on serving because I had been doing it for so long. And so basically I was letting them know that I was kind of getting burnt out on it, and I was wanting to do something a little bit different. So she said, well, why don't you come over to my office? And I was like, what would I do there? Because at that time I didn't have any experience. Right. So she was basically like, you know, whatever you want to do, you know, you're great at customer service, you always have a smile on your face, you have a great attitude, so just come on over, meet my office manager tomorrow. So the next day I was there bright and early. That's one thing, you want to make sure you're early or on time for any kind of, you know, job opportunities, because they look at that. So I went to meet the office manager the next day, and basically she was like, when can you start? So I was like, okay, well, let me, again, put my 2 weeks. And even though I didn't stop where I was working, I still did both jobs. I wanted to give them time to find somebody to, fill the role that, basically I was doing. And so I started over at the dental office, and basically I was just doing things to keep myself busy. She was paying me for it, so I kept myself busy, as far as whatever they needed, getting the instruments clean, pulling the charts for the patients the next day, doing things like that. Well, then I started getting interested in what everybody else was doing. I'm like, okay, I see that there's an assistant here. How can I get to that position? So basically, I started shadowing this assistant. Everything she was doing, I would do, If she left the room with a patient, I was right there. If she, brought a patient into the room, I was there listening to what was going on, listening to what the doctor was saying, how she spoke. And then an opportunity came for me to sit down and become a chairside assistant. I started doing that, and then I worked my way up to lead assistant. Shortly after that, I got a lot more training, and I started, after I was approached, they asked me to come to the front office. So then I went on to the front office and, basically shadowed the office manager that was there. And after that, a lot of things happened, and the office manager had to leave, and so I went on and became the office manager, and of course that was a substantial raise. I started at I want to say something like $7 an hour, because basically I was just pulling charts, and once I became the office manager, I was making $20. So big raise, a lot of responsibilities. So by that time I had 3 kids, and actually, yeah, I had 3, and then I got pregnant with my 4th. She was the Marina baby, that's what I call her, because that wasn't supposed to that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, she is a blessing. But while I was pregnant with her, we had a lot of drama going on at the office, and at that time I got down on my knees and was like, God, where do I need to be? And after every single one of my kids, I've always went right back to work, fast. But this time I said, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of time. So I did just that. I took some time and prayed and, spent time with my kids. And then I decided, okay, I'm ready for something a little bit different. It's just too much drama going on. I need something different. So then I started applying at offices in Atlanta, and kind of just like you. I mean, I put one in, and this lady called and was like, hey, when can you come in for an interview? Actually, about 5 dentists called and was like, when can you come in for an interview? I was overwhelmed because it's all over Atlanta. I'm like, I don't know which way to go. So I went and did an interview with a dentist. She had 2 offices, one in Norcross and one in Cummings. She wanted somebody that she felt was qualified to lead both, and she felt that person was me. So then I went, and that was probably another, I would say, $15,000 raise just from, the qualifications going between both offices, and then being over a staff of about 15 people. I was also having to tell doctors what to do. And I don't know if y'all ever worked with doctors, but they hard-headed. They are very hard-headed. So I want to say I did that for about 3 years, and no, actually it was about 2.5. But just going in between the 2, I was getting home late at night, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and all that. In that time, my husband and I had divorced, so I was at that point I was a single mom, and so getting home that late at night, your kids suffer. So I went from seeing my kids being happy to down low in the dumps, making 40s, 50s, stuff that's off the charts with the grades. I'm like, what is this coming from? So at that time, again, I always go to God with everything. That's, to me, is the, my faith is first and foremost. So before I make any kind of decisions, I sit down and I pray about it. So prayed about it, and even though I felt that if I went back down from being a practice administrator to becoming just like an office manager, I knew that there would be a pay cut, but I felt that I needed to do what I needed to do for my kids. So I ended up putting my 2-week notice in and didn't have no other job. And I've never done anything like that. I'm like, how am I going to make it? But I just felt like God was telling me, hey, I got you. I got you. So I put my 2-week notice in at one job, and within the next day, another job was calling me. And even though I did take, a lower job position, I get more paid. So. And the doctor that I work for is amazing. I mean, he's very family oriented. Anytime my kids have anything, I just talk to him about it. He's like, girl, you better get to that school, And so, I'm, very blessed because of that. So.
And tell us about those trainings that you do.
Yeah, that's another thing. On the side, basically I'm a go-getter, anytime I feel like there's any room to, help somebody else, but also help substantiate my income, I end up, basically doing whatever it is I need to do that. And so I do office trainings. Normally I try to do it at least once a month. I'll go to different offices in Atlanta. I've been to an office in Buckhead so far. There's one that I'll actually be training in a couple of weeks in Sandy Springs. But I just go and basically help have y'all seen Flip My House? Well, I flip the office, basically. I just kind of go in and I'll train the staff members on basically on customer service. I train them on the computer software. If anything's, basically, if y'all ever watch Scandal, Olivia Pope, I'm Olivia Pope of the dental office. So I just flip it, That's about it.
Awesome.
That's my long drawn out story.
Okay, I have another question for the job advancement experts. I have saw in a lot of business, Black women working on the lower levels. Have you saw this, and why do you feel like that may be the case?
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, all right? Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. We all need to be trying to lift each other up, but it's like if women, period, are in the same office and they feel like one woman is doing better than them, that's why there's no place for advancement for us. It's too much drama.
Yeah.
Too much drama. And if you doing better than them, they gonna talk about you, or you know what I'm saying, they gonna try to nitpick at you and try to keep up some riffraff in between the office, between you guys. But the best thing to do is just do your job, do it well, because even though you think nobody's looking or watching, somebody's seeing you ignore what's going on, and they seeing you focus on your position. Because that happened with me at the Housing Authority, and I still ended up getting that accounts payable position, even though it was a lot of drama just around that whole situation anyway. But I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get involved in that. I'm just gonna do what I need to do. They gonna see I've been here, I know the job, I know and they ended up choosing somebody else, but she ended up giving a 2-week notice after being there for like a month.
Wow.
And then it came back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for me, exactly, and it's gonna come back around, and so I ended up getting that position. It's just that sometimes it's jealousy. A lot of people don't like to see you do good, yeah. And yeah, it's just kind of being scared to step up and take on extra responsibility.
Yeah,
It's so uncomfortable. You tell yourself again, I can do that, I can apply for that, I have got the skills for that. But it's always an opportunity to learn something new.
Yeah.
Just gotta get rid of that fear and just kind of stay out of the office politics and just do your job well. Because there's always gonna be somebody who is too, goody two shoes, or they probably favor more than the other one. But eventually, if you're doing what you need to do, it's gonna reflect off of you, and you'll be able to move up and advance.
Yeah. Hard work do pay
It
off.
does pay off. It definitely does.
Okay, to the business owner.
Well, basically, she said, a lot of it is jealousy. What I have found to be a major distraction in the workplace is somebody who, they come into work and they bring home to work, a lot of times. And I've been in that position too, where I've had, my home life has completely fallen apart. But I feel like this, I to leave that right at the door. If I decide when I leave to pick it back up, I can do that. But I just go in everything, you know, with a positive attitude, and I feel like that's how I've been able to, you know, move up.
Right, for the business owners, give us your blueprint to your business. We want to know why you went into business, what you obtained to go into business, and what worked for you. Well, name one thing that worked for you and one thing that didn't. We won't be the lucky one to go first.
You asked me that one question at a time.
Okay. Okay, why did you go?
Multi-questioning.
Why did you go into business, or what made you go into business?
Because I got tired of working for people that didn't know what they were doing.
Okay.
I enjoy the healthcare field. And when I was working with different agencies, you know, the clients were just numbers to them. They weren't human beings. So I just, you know, like I said, I enjoy taking care of my little ladies and my little men, but the way that you have to do it when you're out there in the massive and the mainstream, or that you cannot give them the quality of care that they deserve. So that's why I wanted to start my own business, so that I could take care of them.
And what did you obtain to go into business?
Obtain for what?
What things did you get together to start your business? Yes,
Well,
we
first I had to
the
get
whole
me
blueprint.
together.
That is a good point, though.
I had to get me
Because
together.
we will fail to, you know.
Okay. Well, I'm sure all of you guys know what personal care home, taking care of senior citizens is. Fortunately or blessed, my dad died about 17 years ago, and after his estate was settled and everything, he had made it possible for me to have some financial means, which I immediately turned into my business. I bought property. I had worked at other personal care homes in different facilities for like 10 years. I had worked with doctors and nurses and everybody in the medical field at that time. I just decided I wanted to step out on faith and do my own thing. Everything just came at a time. My dad passed, and the property that I bought came on the market to sell. I was blessed to be able to buy the property with cash money, so that took away that debt. Sometime in starting business, that's a big obstacle, your location, your budget, how you're going to get through it. I was blessed not to be caught up in that because of my dad passing when he did. And I bought the property. I built my personal care home to state specifications. Had excellent contractors. If you're going to build, if you want to do a business where you're going to have to build whatever it is you want to do, make sure you have a good relationship with your contractor, because that's a priority. So we went in on faith. I went in with one client. I've been there 15 years. I've been down to one client because, believe me, business, if you are an entrepreneur, your business can go up and down. So save as much as you can while you're making good money. Save as much of it as you can, just in case your business goes down. You have enough to, you know, hold on until you can come back up. But that way you just have to hold on to this thing.
And name one thing that worked for you and one thing that didn't work for you in business.
One thing that did work for me is being very particular in your business, how you want your business to run. You got to stick to your rules and regulations. You have to stick to your own personal rules and regulations. Then you have to stick with the state rules and regulations of whatever agency you're working with. You have to be able to work with people on a one-on-one basis, because you're going to work with a lot of different people. I enjoy these young ladies' energy. I like to hire both of you. But you got to have good employees to make your business give a quality. Whether you're doing a product or a service, your employees will make your business or just about great.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. And Ms. Glendra.
Back up.
Yeah, I can see her. Why did you go into business?
Well, the reason why I went into business was interesting. I moved to Georgia because I got offered a job in Fulton County.
Okay.
They offered me a job to teach. I'm like, okay. it was strange how they offered me a job. I was going to pick up my niece. I was only here visiting, and I was sitting at the table with the little boy's name was Tiger. I'll never forget. He was really in the corner. I didn't know he was in the corner. You know, I'm sitting there like, where is she at? They was performing something. So I'm sitting here helping him write his name. And the principal came out and was like, you know, Tyler, we need to talk to you about Tyler. You know? I'm like, no, I'm here to pick up Raya. And he was like, you have them do that. I said, yeah, I just did dot to dots. You know, you gotta have kids do dot to dots. You know, giving them a blank paper with a T on that. Just don't scribble all on it. Right. So he was like, oh, you're not from here? I'm like, no, I'm from Michigan. I'm just picking on my niece. He was like, you teach? I'm like, yeah, I teach at the Big Harbor Charter School in Michigan. He was like, I can tell. He was like, you want to teach here when school start back? It was like, in the summer. I'm like, I probably could. I didn't have no kids. I was young. So, long story short, I ended up moving to Atlanta. But it bothered me. I used to go, I worked in the West End. If any of y'all know.
Oh, yeah.
So, I liked the area. I used to go to the West End Mall on lunch. But then, if you notice in lunch, it'd be a lot of city workers. And I realized, you know, they try to talk to me because I was walking. And I noticed that they made more than I made. That bothered me. That I'm teaching these how to make, and these city people are sitting in these trucks in a parking lot making more than me. It didn't hit me at first. I wasn't really worried about money, let's just say that. I didn't have it. It just didn't hit me that I was making $40,000 at the charter school, and I come to Atlanta public schools and I'm only making like 29, 30, and I guess it was the difference because in Michigan I lived with my grandmother. So it was like, we own our home. I didn't pay any bills, but when I moved here, then yeah, I stayed downtown on Freedom Parkway. So of course I was paying $1,200 working in the West End. It wasn't adding up to me. So I started meeting a lot of people, and a lot of was business owners, a lot of celebrities, and somebody hooked me up with a job. One day I'm like, I just don't want to really do this no more. And she was like, well, come to West Asset Management, which was owned by Wells Fargo. So they saw I did setting cubicle work, mortgage for Wells Fargo. I did that for a couple of years. Then 2007, the economy went down, the mortgage, all of that. So they called me in the office and they gave me that paper, that layoff paper. They did something to my emotions. Yeah, I was teaching at 1920, so being laid off was just like, I love teaching and do this, you know. But the thing is, I didn't know about the severance pay. They gave me a nice severance pay. So they was like, oh, so when I looked at the check, I'm like, oh, okay. They was like, and then in 30 days, you know, go file for your unemployment. So I'm like, okay, so at this time, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna chill, do what I do. I can live off of that for a little bit. But I started my circle. When they say surround yourself. My circle was still business owners. So while I'm sitting at home chilling, because I know my bank is okay for a moment, I still have the business friends that say, what is you doing? What is you gonna do? Like, is you gonna go teach? What did you? So it was just it wasn't that I honestly want to do it. It was, can say peer pressure to the fact like, okay, y'all, if I don't find out by August, I go back to teaching. But the thing that hurt me was when I went to look for a job. I wasn't as lucky as you two. I didn't have an experience. I have a degree. I only have classroom experience. Do I know how to type? No. Do I know computer software? No. I'm used to cutting and pasting, sitting circle time, AF, Apple. So a lot of people that I interview good, they'll tell me like, oh, I love your energy, you know. But in 07, 08, people, it's the economy down, they want somebody that has experience. So if you can't type those words a minute, you can smile and be all you want, you're not getting the job. If you don't know no computer software, what that dental office is using, you're not getting the job. And that was another slap in the face when that money was going low and I'm actually interviewing and everybody say they love me, but you just don't have it. your ending resume look good, why you don't go back to teaching? So it's just like, oh, I gotta go back to Atlanta Public Schools. So after that, I was online. I don't know how. I still don't know to this. I still try to figure out. I know I was online looking, but for somehow I was on Craigslist. And I seen this people selling their business, the trailer I own. He was selling it, so I'm like, who would sell their business? So I called a couple of my friends. I was like, just take a ride out there. I'm like, it's Villa Rica. Ride out there. So I drove out there, me and my little dog, and I pulled up. I'm sorry, it was just a bunch of, white people sitting out there. I didn't get out. They were sitting on the little deck area thing, so I'm like, okay, this is a cute little thing, I got the phone number and I just pulled off. I ain't do nothing, but I called when I got back. When I got home with my own surroundings, like, I can do it. Let me call and see what he. So I met Scott the next day. He was like, come on out here, You fake it till you make it. You can talk a good game, and that's basically what I did to him. He wanted $30,000 for that trailer. So my thing is still the economy down, cash talk. So I'm like, okay, you want me to finance $30,000? What if I come up with $20,000 cash? He was like, if you can come up with $20,000 cash, I'm like, yeah, but you got to give me some time. He was like, yeah, I give you some. I said, in the midst of that, I'm gonna work for you for free. I never worked at food, no. So basically, when we work for free, that's gonna be my experience. So I gave him $5,000 down. I wrote him a $5,000 check to hold for a minute while I worked. Then after that, I'm like, okay, with my little touches, I can do this. Went back to my business friends, like, hey, I think I'm gonna open up a restaurant, y'all. In this economy, no, but you gotta do something else. You can't open up, the economy down. But my thing is, people eat. People eat. We don't eat. So, in my midst of working for him for free, I later seen like, okay, I can do this, because it was just one window thing. So basically, I could do it by myself if I just, so that's basically, I made him write a contract that he regrets to this day, that he can never open up another restaurant in the Carrollton area ever, because basically you taught me everything I know, so you would be my competition. You kind of know what I know, but I don't know anything. So I had him make that contract. I worked. My thing is, before I had these fancy flyers, I just had Xerox paper. I flooded the area, flooded. The mayor used to stop me. You running for some type of city? Well, why? He was like, what's that in your hand? Everybody see you. I said, oh, this is my flyer. Come to my restaurant. And that's how I got it. I kept going. I went in partner. I said, where I got the other 10 from. I had a partner come along. So it was 10, 10, 50, 50. But I'm that type of person. I go to get it by any means. So after a while, I owned that trailer. I didn't own the land. The Arabs owned the land. So they seen the hustle in me. They seen that. So they kept going up on the land. So it don't matter how much I own this. If you don't own the land, it really don't mean nothing. So I told the person I went in business with, I'm gonna give you $10,000 back, and I'm gonna go. So I gave him my $10,000 back. I had no more severance pay, no more money. But I knew I had my lawyer, who was Mac Pilgrim, I don't know if y'all know. He told me, like, Villa Rica loved you. You got Villa Rica. So I took $0, nothing but enough to sign on the line to get that week. And I opened up another location, just me by myself. And every dime that I made, I put it back in. I never owned a credit card. I'm a cash girl. So if I didn't have cash, I didn't buy it. Everything I paid my employees with was cash. Which they all love that. If anybody paid, I cash. I know. So it made them even more enticed to work for me, is the fact, like, man, she give our cash, everything is cash, even vendors. Vendors, they all want, like, you give us cash on the spot when we come and bring you all this chicken. Yeah, because that still keeps. Now, on the credit line, is GC Feathers good? No, my name is good because I'm known as having the cash, which I don't have the cash just when you put yourself out there as having the cash, they look at you way more different. So people may look at like, oh, I got bad credit. I don't even know what my credit look like. I tell, don't run my credit. I don't do nothing with no contract. I gotta sign a contract, I don't wanna do it. Nah, I'm not doing it. They're eventually gonna break something in the guidelines so you're not signing a contract. And you just keep on moving and hustling. My thing is, I go by energy. Like I even tell people, you come here smile, I'm geek smile, hey, how you doing? That's all they wanna hear. I have people, baseball wives that live in Georgia, they just call my phone and order wings. You know why? Because like, I just feel like being called love today. And you be like, hey, love, what can I get for you today?
Oh.
So she just want to order wings. Warren Dunn, a Falcon player, he ordered 1,000 every month. I know I'm going to get that check every month because it's like your chemistry. It's just who you rub shoulders with. You never know who you're going to meet. And that's only how I go by. I tell people every day, even when they pass out flyers, my whole goal, I just got to get my flyer in the right person's hand. Like people say, it's money out there. I just got to put my hand on it. And that's the same thing I always felt. I just got to get my flyer in the right person's hand. And that's how it always been. I take any contracts, Fulton County. Yes, I used to fire food way in Carroll County and take it to the courthouse in Fulton County. When the sheriff was getting reelected for the term, I fried the chicken way out here and took it way out there and still got my check. However you want to do it. They don't know where I'm coming from. I just need that contract. And that's all you gotta do. Just, you gotta be able to, my thing, I'm a quiet person. When it comes to my business, I'm gonna eat your head off. Like I tell people, I don't cuss like that, but I let my employees know I'm anal about it. Like when they say you have to know exactly and not change, this will work for me. No, you ain't gonna come to my restaurant and find nothing for 99 cents. I'm sorry. It may not work for you at that point, but this will work for me.
Right.
I can't do what works for them and get money. I have to do what works for you. So everything not gonna work. She can be doing good over there. And I'm like, dang, I can't go over there and type them papers and get them people no lease. That's not gonna work for me.
Right.
So I have to do what works for me. And I didn't know restaurant no shake and wing. I was one of those girls, and I was like, I ain't flipping no burgers, I'm going to college. I flip a lot of burgers and shake a lot of fries. But I was one of those that said that. Even they said on Facebook, like, oh my God, you were so bougie. I can't believe you were. Yes, I get down and dirty. Yes. And that's why I tell people, I love meeting everyone. No, I didn't grow up with it. Like I tell people, I never had it. But when people look or they assume that I do, it's only been hard work for me to speak to her and talk to her. Just like, yeah, I'm going to leave, but I'm still get your car. Because yes, I take care of my grandma. She is in hospital. But everything I've got is because of someone who I rub shoulders with. From the big house I stand with, it's somebody I met at my restaurant. To the Mercedes I drive, is somebody that I was seeing somewhere else. And I'm there, hey, put my phone number in your phone. I don't care. I rub shoulders with everybody. Like everybody at my restaurant, they mad because I used to have a big table that have everybody's business card on it. Well, I remodeled, I ain't got it no more. So the customers that I didn't realize how much it was an asset too. But I just realized I do. Anytime anything get broken, anything, I have a big old trapper keeper with cars. I flip through it. The hookup, yes. My 15-year class reunion. I sent them a whole bunch of people information. Hey, call them, tell them GC, Glendra. They may know me from something. It's a hookup. It's just all about trading business and getting to know everyone.
Networking.
That's my whole thing. And that's how I feel like I get it.
In business or, in job advancement than any other race or men. If you have to work harder than any other race or harder than men.
It's like you always have to work harder.
I'm just saying, as black women, do you feel
Oh,
like we have to work harder?
Most definitely. I mean, yes, because if you think about it, sometimes people see black women as low man on the totem pole. It seems like it's white men, white women, black men, and then black women.
Yeah.
We down here kind of like on the bottom. But they don't understand, we are like the most sometimes hard working, like, best mothers, like, we hustle to do what we gotta do, whatever, especially if we got mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Oh, then
It's
it's
a
10,
wrap.
it's a wrap. We like Mama Bear, we gotta do whatever we gotta do to take care of our kids.
Yeah.
But I just feel like sometimes at some point, even though we are in 2015 right now, we as black women do have to work a little bit harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
Smart, I agree, definitely. Even in, like, approach when getting something done. My thing is, like even early this morning, I was up 7 this morning, my camera went out, but my fiance got a better response to the people than I did. Sometimes when they tell them like, oh, girl, man, she aggressive, man, she right. But I have to, because you're gonna think that I'm super smooth and it's okay. No, because I'm not one of the women that's gonna pop my trunk and you be like, oh, you got this wrong and this wrong. Yeah, we've been known to be messed up over. And one thing, it took me, and I sad to say why, I don't know why it took me so long, but it really took me to go to Hawaii to realize how much that we are, how much we really built this world. So I run my pants like a man. Anybody say, I'm sorry, is the fact like, if you really want to know, we put them guns together. We did all that. Yeah. So it made me not feel, at first I used to be like, maybe I am too hard, maybe. But once I felt like, hey, if it my fuzz, y'all wouldn't have none of that to win America. We was the one that helped y'all win America with my fuzz. So it made me feel like, yes, you have to be stronger. You have to, I don't care how they say, yep, she'll, yep, and I am. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. You have to. I go super strong and then I smooth up. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to that. What?
You have to be a little aggressive.
Do you feel like you have had to work harder in business than any other race or the men?
I'm sure I have, and we just work harder than most men anyway, because we have I mean, really,
We do.
yeah,
We still work and we
women have
still gotta
more
take
to
care of
do
home.
than men do, but on a personal level, I guess I've been blessed, fortunate, or whatever. I haven't had a difficult time, but you know, I know a lot. I know it's out there,
Yeah.
you know, but just on a personal level, I'm just blessed not to have, you know, things have just, by the grace of God, fell into place for me. Yes, now I've worked very hard. I've been working actually ever since I was 12 years old, and I'm truly ready to retire, but I'm not old enough. But yeah, you got to put your time in. You have to be aggressive. You know, you have to stay with your mind. When you get to that retirement, I mean, till you get. I've told Portia my goal is to have enough money that I can live off the interest or the principal or the dividend and never have to touch the principal. That's my level of getting there.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to get to, so I can leave the principal alone and just live off and let my money make money.
Okay. Have y'all heard the term the glass ceiling?
I've heard it.
Look, we're gonna let Miss Chelsea, she brought this point up for me. We're gonna let her explain it, because she brought it up and I was like, oh, that's so good, because I didn't know, what it is either. I don't really know what her, you want me to?
Okay, it's a fictitious imaginary peak for Black women in business, that they will only allow us to go so far, and give us so much power and allow us to make so much money, and then we're cut off. So that's what the glass ceiling is.
That doesn't apply to me.
And I want to say
I
that
don't know
too.
who it
I
applies
got
to.
a bunch of women friends that like own trucking companies, and it took them to come to me to really see. They giving us money out here, women.
Yeah.
The minority, they giving us some money. Trust and believe. I was almost at that point like, man, Carol ain't gonna let me get no liquor license. How is I finna make some money? Do I need to rent this building out on the weekend? And once you really vent to your friend, like, hey, girls, you need to go out here and make this. You need to go out here and look online for service. And they giving us the money. You just have to go out there and look for it and get it. No one is gonna tell us, hey, it's over there. But one thing I do always tell people, even in, we have my friends, we have our little boss meeting, is the fact that I always act dumb. I'm sorry. I'm the type, I have my laptop, I have the house phone and my cell phone. I will call the Secretary of State, like, what I click on? It's right in front of me. I'm gonna make sure it's right. Okay, and what is it again? Okay, I see, I'm clicking on it. Oh, I should have been did it on the phone with me. I don't care if they think I'm dumb. I know what I am. And I just act, what I do again? What I need? Oh, okay, I got it. Yep. And that's how they show. That's how they show. That's what's up.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess, like she was saying earlier, it's about your circle. I mean, when I was in, because I used to live in Kelton for a long time, I found that, of course there are some Black women that are successful, you two being, two I know, and you, but there's a lot more in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And, once I moved up there, I'm seeing people, they got Benz, they got this, they got that, they are CEOs of companies and things like that, and I'm like, wait a minute, how do I get to this point? And, I think it's about who you surround yourself with. Just like you said, I'm always asking questions. If I don't know something, I'm not going to be ashamed to say, I don't know it. I think a lot of times we as women take a lot of pride in ourselves and we think, oh, well, let me just act like I know it, or let me,
Fake it till you make it.
fake it till I make it. But a lot of times, I feel like you hinder yourself. Because if you just say, hey, show me how to do this, a lot of times people are open and willing to show you.
But I think that's more, like I was telling someone last week, I think it's us more of each other. As the fact, you know how you can be like, where you get that bracelet? We ain't all of this. I don't remember such and such. You know we ain't all have. That's really us with each other. That's just, that's human nature. That's something that we're Black women, that's something it's hard for us to get by. We don't want to give out all our secrets sometimes. That's just how it is, but you still have to go beyond that point.
Yeah.
Like my food at, I don't know if any of y'all Club Lux downtown, anybody been down there? But anywho, on 14th Street, my food is in that club. But it's because I talk to anybody. The Italian, he was on the flight with me. He ended up owning the club. So now my food is in that club. And then I get a percentage of that food. I don't get no percentage of the alcohol. All the non-alcoholic beverages, I get 10%. And it's all about, hey, what you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to speak to a whole thing, but I'm going to talk to that person next to me. And we're going to ask for directions and, hey, what we need to do and hey, what you doing? Let me give you my card. It's going to work out because I feel like everybody have birthdays, everybody have a party, and I got the food. So whatever you got, we get you.
Everybody eat chicken too.
So that's why I even tell anything. Even some people are like, oh, I want to start this. Hey, make you some cards, even if you don't do it. You never know who's going to call you. Just make you some cards and give it to that one person, give it to that person. Hey, and when they do call you, just hurry up and do what you got to do. But if you keep thinking like, okay, I got to have all this, I got to have my portfolio together, you ain't going to never go do it. You just got to have it. Even if you sell some, just go on about a couple of pieces and give out a card and hand to, just give them everywhere. Because even though I've noticed that people I've given menus to, some people just not calling me. Half the stuff we don't even serve no more. But they just not deciding to call. People will eventually talk to you. They may not do it then, but they'll eventually come around and talk to you. It's all about networking. Yes. Just stay positive. That's it. We're pretty fine, but I'm sorry I got to go do it. Y'all believe in The Secret? Anybody?
Oh, yeah, I'm in a law of attraction club. I didn't want to,
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. That's as long as you do that and keep going and networking, I feel like that's the life of plan.
Law of attraction.
Oh, what you put out, you get back.
Yeah, what you
And that's it.
Yeah, what you speak about yourself.
And not even just I say like to yourself. I even say like to others. As long as you give, it can be to anything. Even compliments, whatever. You just have to give something. You're gonna get it back. You're gonna get it back.